In Greek mythology, King Midas wished for everything he touched to turn to gold. He reveled in his newfound power, unaware of the impending consequences. His food and drink transformed into cold, hard metal. Even his beloved daughter succumbed to his golden touch. Midas's gift became a curse, a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked desire. Today, we face a modern Midas touch plastic. What began as a miracle material, celebrated for its versatility and durability, now threatens our planet with an overwhelming tide of waste. Plastic's presence is inescapable, from the deepest ocean trenches to the Arctic ice caps. Its persistence in the environment has created a predicament of global proportions. Like Midas, we are only beginning to grasp the full extent of our actions. The very qualities that made plastic so desirable, its longevity and resistance to degradation, have transformed it into a persistent pollutant. We are surrounded by the ghosts of plastic past, haunting our landfills, clogging our waterways, and infiltrating our food chains. The time has come to confront our plastic addiction. We must acknowledge the unintended consequences of our actions and seek sustainable solutions. The future of our planet, and indeed our own well-being, depends on it. The story of plastic is a testament to human ingenuity. What began as a quest to find substitutes for natural materials like ivory and tortoiseshell led to the creation of synthetic polymers, the building blocks of modern plastics. In 1907, Leo Baekeland synthesized Bakelite, the first fully synthetic plastic, ushering in a new era of material science. Plastic's versatility seemed limitless. It could be molded into an endless array of shapes, from durable containers to lightweight films. Its low cost and ease of manufacture made it accessible to all. The world embraced plastic, hailing it as a wonder material that would revolutionize modern life. From the outset, plastic's durability was touted as a key advantage. Unlike natural materials that decompose over time, plastic promised products that would last longer, reducing the need for replacements. This very quality, once celebrated as a virtue, is now at the heart of our plastic predicament. As plastic production soared in the latter half of the 20th century, so too did its presence in our lives. From packaging and consumer goods to construction materials and electronics, plastic infiltrated every facet of modern society. We had entered the plastic age, oblivious to the environmental consequences that lay ahead. The statistics surrounding plastic production and accumulation are staggering. Since large-scale production began in the 1950s, over 8.3 billion metric tons of plastic have been produced globally. To put this into perspective, this amount of plastic could cover the entire country of Argentina ankle deep. Of the billions of tons produced, only a small fraction has been recycled. A mere 9% has been processed for reuse, while another 12% has been incinerated, releasing harmful pollutants into the atmosphere. The vast majority, a staggering 79%, languishes in landfills or pollutes our environment. Landfills, once thought to contain our waste, are overflowing with plastic debris. Lightweight plastic bags take flight, carried by the wind to distant corners of the globe. Plastic bottles designed for single use persist in the environment for centuries, slowly fragmenting into smaller and smaller pieces. The sheer volume of plastic waste has overwhelmed our ability to manage it effectively. We are producing plastic at an unprecedented rate, far outpacing our capacity to recycle or dispose of it responsibly. The consequences of our inaction are all around us, visible in the plastic-strewn landscapes and polluted waterways that are becoming increasingly commonplace. The world's oceans, once teeming with life, have become the ultimate sink for our plastic waste. Carried by rivers and streams, blown by winds, or directly discarded into coastal waters, an estimated 8 million tons of plastic enter the ocean every year. This relentless onslaught is equivalent to dumping a garbage truck full of plastic into the sea every minute. The consequences for marine life are devastating. Sea turtles, mistaking plastic bags for jellyfish, ingest them and die of starvation. Whales, their stomachs filled with plastic debris, succumb to malnutrition and intestinal blockages. Seabirds, their bodies entangled in discarded fishing nets, drown or starve to death. The plastic plague extends to even the most remote regions of our oceans. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a swirling vortex of plastic debris twice the size of Texas, stands as a stark reminder of our impact on the planet. Plastic has been found on the ocean floor, in the deepest trenches, and even ingested by microscopic organisms at the base of the food chain. Our oceans, once a source of life and wonder, are being choked by our plastic waste. The very creatures that depend on healthy oceans for their survival are being poisoned by our addiction to this persistent pollutant. Section 5. The insidious threat of microplastics. As alarming as visible plastic pollution is, an even more insidious threat lurks beneath the surface microplastics. These tiny particles, less than 5 millimeters, form from larger plastic items. They are also added to personal care products like facial scrubs and toothpaste. Microplastics are found in water, food, and air. Their small size makes them easily ingested by marine organisms entering the food chain. Studies reveal microplastics in marine species, from zooplankton to large fish. These particles can block digestive tracts, leading to starvation. They can also leach harmful chemicals, disrupting endocrine systems. The full extent of the risk to human health is still being investigated. However, their widespread presence and ability to accumulate in the food chain is a cause for concern. We are only beginning to understand the potential consequences of ingesting these particles over our lifetimes. Section 6. Plastics' toxic legacy. Beyond the physical threat posed by plastic waste, there are growing concerns about the harmful chemicals present in many plastics. Additives such as phthalates and bisphenol A or BPA are used to impart desired properties to plastics, making them more flexible, durable, or transparent. However, these chemicals can leach out of plastic products and enter the environment, potentially harming both wildlife and humans. BPA, for example, is an endocrine disruptor, meaning it can interfere with the body's hormonal system. Exposure to BPA has been linked to a range of health problems, including reproductive issues, obesity, and certain types of cancer. Phthalates, another group of chemicals commonly found in plastics, have also been linked to adverse health effects, including developmental problems in children and hormonal disruptions. While more research is needed to fully understand the long-term health consequences of exposure to plastic-related chemicals, the precautionary principle suggests that we should take steps to minimize our exposure. Choosing plastic products that are BPA-free and phthalate-free is a good first step. Reducing our overall reliance on plastic where possible is the most effective way to protect ourselves and our families from these potential risks. Section 7. Navigating the Labyrinth of Solutions. Addressing the plastic crisis requires a multifaceted approach that tackles the problem at its source, improves waste management, and promotes sustainable alternatives. Simply banning plastic outright is unlikely to be effective and could have unintended consequences. Banning single-use plastic bags without alternatives could lead to higher environmental impacts from other materials. A Danish study found that producing a cotton bag requires significantly more energy and resources than a plastic bag. To offset its impact, a cotton bag needs to be reused thousands of times. We need to prioritize developing a circular economy for plastics. This means designing products for recyclability, investing in advanced recycling, and promoting consumer responsibility. EPR programs hold manufacturers accountable for their products' entire life cycle. This encourages companies to design recyclable products and invest in recycling infrastructure. EPR programs can help reduce plastic pollution at its source. Section 8. A global call to action. The plastic crisis is a global challenge that demands a global response. Developing countries bear the brunt of plastic pollution. Rapid industrialization and inadequate waste management overwhelm many communities. International cooperation is essential. Developed nations must assist in strengthening waste management systems. Promoting sustainable consumption is crucial. Sharing knowledge and resources is key. We must shift to a circular economy. Embrace reuse, recycling, and responsible consumption. Each of us has a role to play. Reduce plastic consumption, support sustainable businesses, advocate for policy changes. Initiatives like the UN's Clean Seas campaign and the Ellen MacArthur Foundation's New Plastics Economy drive change. The time to act is now. Let us work together for a sustainable future.